Now this news is actually kind of sad. I feel bad about this, but it's to be expected. From the Daily Wire, 1/3 of migrant caravans sick, HIV, tuberculosis, chickenpox. Lou Gradowski of We Are Change is currently on the ground in Tijuana. He did a video, I don't have it pulled up, but he did a video where he was talking to somebody. They're wearing masks, okay? They're wearing medical masks. Why? Because people are getting sick. They're spitting everywhere. There's human waste on the streets. You have thousands of people. Not nearly enough resources to take care of them, and yes, people are getting sick, and it's spreading through the caravan. And this, it's funny, because people were warning about this. A lot of people, mostly on the right, were saying, listen, this is going to be an issue. And here we have it from the Daily Wire. This report is out. And I'm going to read through this, and I got another story I want to read through, though, because I find it kind of funny that CNN ran this story at the beginning of the month. Despite rhetoric, illness threat from migrants is minimal, experts say. Really? Well, boy, certain aspects of the media were dead wrong about the entire caravan. They said they're just applying for asylum, they're not going to try and enter illegally, and then they arrested several dozen before the rushing of the border. Several dozen got arrested. Then, a week or so later, we see them rushing the border, and 42 get arrested, so that was wrong. They say these people want asylum. Then MSNBC reports they actually don't want asylum. They were told there were work programs, and they could just come to the U.S. Lies and propaganda, and they were wrong almost every step of the way. Look, I'm not saying trust the government all the time, but I would say at this point when you have MSNBC, CNN, and even DHS saying this is true about, the migrants not being asylum seekers, okay, plain and simple. And I want to point out, CNN hasn't had a good track record on this. Just because they're talking about something now with CBP doesn't mean they weren't wrong before they were wrong. Let's read this story. Thousands of migrants marched from Central America to the U.S. border over the last 6 weeks, but many of them are suffering from respiratory infections, tuberculosis, chickenpox, and other serious health issues, including HIV. Of the 6,000 migrants gathered in Tijuana just south of the U.S. border near San Diego, more than a third of them are being treated for health-related issues, a spokesman for Tijuana's health department told Fox News. There are 3 confirmed cases of tuberculosis, 4 cases of HIV, and 4 separate cases of chickenpox. At least 101 migrants have lice and multiple instances of skin infections, the department's data shows. There's also a threat of hepatitis outbreak due to unsanitary conditions, the spokesman said. The thousands of migrants are being sheltered at the Benito Juarez Sports Complex near the San Ysidro, U.S.-Mexico port of entry, despite the place being capable of providing for 1,000 people. The location also has only 35 portable bathrooms. A sign reading "No spitting" was put up as coughing and spitting by migrants are rampant in the shelter. I also want to point out, because of the human waste, it's entirely possible for typhoid. I'm not a medical expert. If they're not mentioning it, maybe they're right. But in my travels, one of the things you have to do when you're going to some foreign countries is you actually have to have a card showing your vaccinations. And I was told hepatitis A and typhoid are huge considerations when dealing with unsanitary, human waste instances. Meanwhile, the mayor of Tijuana said Tuesday, the city cannot afford to help the migrants that are there. We won't compromise the resources of the residents of Tijuana, Juan Manuel Gastelum said during a press conference, noting that the city is spending some $30,000 a day. We won't raise taxes tomorrow to pay for today's problem. Hundreds of migrants stormed the U.S. border on Sunday, and the U.S. Border Patrol's top San Diego agent said they shoved women and children to the front of the mob to use as human shields. What we saw over and over yesterday was that the group, the caravan as we call them, would push women and children to the front and then begin basically rocking our agents, Chief Patrol Agent Rodney Scott said in a CNN interview. Now, again, I'm not saying don't just blindly believe the government. You should never do that. However, we've seen photos of people throwing rocks. You can see the videos where the people are standing next to media and standing next to women and children. He's claiming it was intentional, that they were pushing people to the front. That may be. I think you should be skeptical a little bit, but at the same time, I don't really have a reason to doubt the DHS because what they predicted has come to pass. And President Trump's warning that the caravan included violent criminals was proven true. You're going to find MS-13, you're going to find Middle Eastern, you're going to find everything, Trump said last week. U.S. Border Patrol agents have arrested a member of the infamous Salvadoran MS-13 gang who admitted to authorities that he traveled with a caravan of Central American migrants who were hoping to qualify for asylum in America. National Review's Merid McCardle reports. Yes, I've heard this too, that they arrested, it's one MS-13 guy, but outside of that, in talking about these criminals, yes, I think Trump was absolutely hyperbolic, but they've already arrested over 100 people for crimes, not to mention the 42 that rushed the U.S. border who got arrested as well. So there's a decent amount of people who were criminals. The member of the notorious brutal gang, which is responsible for numerous violent murders in the U.S. over the last 3 decades, is 29-year-old Jose Villalobos Yobel, a Honduran national who was arrested Saturday evening in U.S. territory east of the Calexico port of entry. He admitted to agents that he traveled with the caravan with the intention of entering the country illegally. Villalobos Yobel told agents that he traveled to the United States border with a large group of people from Central America, intending on filing for asylum in the U.S., U.S. Customs and Border Protection said in a statement about his arrest. And so, we have that story, but they went through it. I kind of want to talk about the health issues that are happening. So let's go back. Look at what CNN said when they said there's no illness threat. There isn't. And now we're seeing this wave of, various illnesses. Let's see what CNN had to say and kind of break down why CNN was wrong. The Trump administration says a group of migrants now making their way through Mexico is a national security threat. And some conservative commentators claim that they are a threat to Americans' health. But experts say people whose health is most at risk are the migrants themselves. So it sounds like, when you look at the context, CNN actually was not entirely wrong. If these people don't get into the U.S., we don't really have anything to worry about. But in the Caravan, they're pretty sick. A story in the right-wing magazine, The New American, this weekend was headlined, Will Migrant Caravan Kill Your Child with Disease? On Monday, Fox and Friend co-host Bryant Kilmeade claimed that the refugees pose a threat because they carry diseases and shouldn't be let in. That's true. That's actually true. I'm not saying they shouldn't be let in. That's his opinion. What I am saying is there is a threat when a large group of people is sick and they're trying to deal with these various illnesses that could spread to other people. That's a fair point. Whether or not you think that means they shouldn't be let in, entirely up to you. I'm just saying that's a fact. It is a fact that sick people can get other people sick. A commentator on Fox, former immigrant agent David Ward, also claimed that the migrants carry diseases such as smallpox and leprosy and tuberculosis that are going to infect our people in the United States. We just heard they have tuberculosis. Come on, CNN. Later, according to the Daily Beast, Fox's press office sent out a clip clarifying the issue that mentioned only TB and leprosy and added, "We have no way of independently confirming this." Well, now we can say that according to a report, we do have reporting suggesting people have tuberculosis. We can see here, what was the exact number? 3 confirmed cases. And this is coming from Tijuana's health department. Again, you can choose not to trust the government, but what are you going to do? We know they're sick. It's a fact. Like I mentioned, Lou Grodkowski is on the ground. They're all wearing masks. They're concerned about the waste that is everywhere. People are getting sick. They're coughing and spitting. We've even seen MSNBC talk about this. I believe it was MSNBC. I could be wrong. Don't fact check me. Let's go back to what CNN was talking about. These claims are unlikely. Ooh, man, this story did not age well for CNN. And I hate to pick on CNN right now. I used to watch them all the time until Don Lemon went on that racist tirade against Kanye West, so now I refuse to watch it. But I gotta say, criticize Fox's press office because they mentioned tuberculosis and then claim it's unlikely, but you have experts. I get it. Those experts were wrong because now we have a report from the Tijuana Health Department, 3 confirmed cases. The World Health Assembly declared the world free of smallpox in May 1980, considered the biggest achievement in international public health, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And that's why it's fair. When Fox ran a story where they said smallpox and leprosy, it's like, yes, smallpox, it's gone. That's not going to happen. Leprosy is extremely rare. And although the World Health Organization says there are some cases in the Americas, 94% of them were reported in Brazil. A study of the region between 2003 and 2013 found the migrants are mostly fleeing Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, and those countries had a tiny number of cases. Still possible. It says tuberculosis is a problem around the world. The United States saw 9,105 cases in 2017, according to the CDC. Pueblo Sin Fronteras, a nonprofit working with migrants, says that some people in the group are in delicate condition, but that their health issues don't relate to diseases that would be a threat to others. Rather, they are threats to their own health that stem from their difficult circumstances. And they have somebody who gave a statement, says, "I'm feeling some chills. I've had a fever a few days," Carlos Gomez told CNN on Sunday. An out-of-work farmhand from Honduras, he says he has no choice but to walk. He needs to find a way to earn a living and feed his 8 children. There is no work anymore. The government took our lands, he said. Can I just point out, this is a person, according to CNN, who wants to come for work, not asylum, okay? Like, if CNN's reporting it, I'm not going to call CNN liars. I'm not going to play this fake news game. Absolutely, we can criticize a story that didn't age well, but CNN at the time did quote experts, and they even had an interview with somebody, okay? I think most media, they're okay, most of the time. The problem is they're wrong too often. I don't know the percentages, but the problem is if you have 100 stories, and one of those stories is fake, Well, that's a problem. If you have 100 stories and 40 of them are fake, that's a serious problem. So the point is, it's still a problem no matter what. Let's just wrap up on what they were talking about here, because this is an old story and we know that it's wrong already. They say, even if the journey itself isn't hard and the outcome isn't certain, the result could help their health. What we know about the social determinants of health that can impact through someone's lifespan is that children are best able to achieve their dreams and survive trauma when they have access to safety and support and have a loving adult in their life that can shepherd them through childhood, Linton said. These families are undergoing this treacherous journey feeling that they have no choice but to seek safety for their families elsewhere. And I don't disagree with that, actually. You have no choice but to try and do the best you can. The problem is they went about it the wrong way, and now they're worse off for it. It was a mistake, plain and simple. Anyway, I've got another video coming up in a few minutes. Stick around.